Lesson 9. When the Turtle Flew. Introduction. Our happiness lies in our satisfaction and understanding of our limits. Going beyond our limits may cost us dearly. This is an old story that ends with the dying of the turtle. But there is a surprise for you. Whereas most turtles were obliged that their flippers meant they could swim in the sea, Piku Turtle whined that they were not wings. Whereas most turtles knew that their hard shells would protect them from predators, Piku Turtle felt only a weight on his back. That meant he would never be light enough to take a flight to the skies. Flying was all he talked about, and he bored the other animals by talking about flying all of the time. When he wasn't talking about flying, he was talking about himself. Piku Turtle was not exactly good company. Once an elder turtle advised him, "You should be happy with what you've got," after he had been on an especially long outburst about flying. This elder was a wise and ancient beast with many scars upon his shell and many lines on his face. The young turtles claimed the elder had once met the caretaker of the earth many years ago when God had first created life. The wise elder would neither confirm nor deny this rumor, but Piku did not care. All he cared was about flying. Turtle's fascination meant that he had few friends. He did not care much for the other turtles who just wanted to swim and eat. And he resented all of the birds because they could fly and he could not. But he knew that if he ever was going to fly, he would need a bird to help him. "Could you please help me fly?" he often asked big birds. "You can't fly with this shell on your back. Plus, you don't have wings," they mocked at him. Therefore, Piku decided to ask a goose. He knew that geese were very elaborate birds, but they were also not particularly bright, and so Piku thought that he would have no problem getting them to help. The goose that Piku Turtle chose to approach was, at the time, off to meet her flock, and did not relish the thought of trying to teach a turtle how to fly, especially Piku Turtle. It seemed like an awful lot of work. "My flock is migrating for the cold season and I am very busy," the goose told Turtle. This was partly true, but the goose also hoped to avoid hurting his feelings. After all, everybody knew that turtles could not fly, no matter how determined they were. "I really don't care about how busy you are," whined Piku selfishly. "I want to fly, and I want to fly now." It was obvious to the goose that the insistent turtle would not take no for an answer. "Let me first ask my flock," she said, knowing well already what they would say. She could have flown off then and there, but she had either a big heart or a small brain. The response she got from her flock was just what she expected, and the air filled with loud, derisive honks as the geese all laughed at Turtle's ridiculous demand. Once the laughter had subsided, one goose who was more thoughtful than the rest voiced out an unconventional idea. "If two of us held a strong stick between us," he said, "then Turtle could hold on while we fly. He does have a strong mouth and could surely hold the stick while in flight." All were silent, as though considering of something. "What if he opened his mouth during the flight?" one of the geese asked. "We will tell him to be very careful," he added. "If he let go, even for a second, he would fall, and he would be too heavy for us to catch. The goose didn't find this idea very much striking and hoped that the thought of falling to the ground would be enough to put Piku Turtle off the plan altogether. But being a very selfish and single-minded sort of creature, Piku Turtle was determined to go ahead. "Well, just remember to hold on as tightly as you can and never let go," said the goose. "Otherwise you will fall and we will not be able to save you. You look very heavy with that shell of yours." Yes, of course," said Turtle, utterly distracted by his own excitement. Piku was too busy picturing himself flying with the geese to pay heed to any warnings. He was also busy thinking how jealous his friends would be when they saw him flying high up in the sky above their heads. And so the flight happened the next day. With Piku's jaw clenched firmly down on the stick held between them, the two geese took off with a whooshing sound and a flapping of their powerful wings. Having never flown before, Turtle was amazed at the myriad of sights that stretched out below him as the geese soared up into the clear blue skies, the beautiful canopy of the jungle and the winding rivers. Everything he saw only served to prove to Piku that he had witnessed far too little of the world. But rather than being humbled by the amazing sights all around him, rather than simply enjoying the experience, selfish Piku Turtle wanted to shout out to the animals below. He wanted to brag and boast about what he could see, and he especially wanted to shout down to all of those turtles who told him that he would never fly. "See, I'm flying over your heads." He had forgotten something in shouting this. As soon as he opened his mouth, he began to fall. He was falling so fast that his eyes closed and brain didn't work. He was lucky enough to fall on the thick tree leaves, and his strong shell protected him from the damage. It actually saved his life. Still, he got unconscious due to shock and trauma. His friends who had been looking at him falling went quickly to him and brought him out safely to his home. "You should be thankful to your hard and strong shell that saved your life," his father told him when he returned to his senses. Piku Turtle never talked of flying again.
Exercise.